What's up, y'all, and welcome to Worldly Church Girl Live. It's your girl, your host, Lillian Harshaw. Let's address the elephant in the room. What in the world is Worldly Church Girl? Worldly Church Girl Live is just like the podcast. Uncut, raw, unfiltered conversations with kingdom-minded people who are sharing their life stories, how they overcame for God's glory. So sit back and relax and enjoy Worldly Church Girl Live. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Worldly Church Girl Live. It's your girl, your host, Lillian Harshaw. Thank you for joining me for another beautiful Friday. We blessed. We made it through another 7 days. We are here, and thank God we made it. I am so glad on today. I have an awesome, wonderful guest. This dude right here, multi-talented. One of my awesome guy big brothers introduced me to him, and I cannot thank him enough for doing that for me. Because when I looked into his profile, I was like, oh yeah, gotta have him. This dude is the bomb.com. He is, and he works for the public school system. He's an author. He's a DJ. I mean, he's a family man. He does it all. And most of all, he's a man of God. So you got to have somebody who's like the full circle. Oh, what's up, Amber, my sister from another mister? Thanks for joining my girl. So it gives me great honor to introduce to y'all the one and only. Don't laugh.
Take some getting used to. I feel the need to turn around like, who
we're talking about? Christopher, DJ. Droopy Wills. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate this opportunity.
No, thank you for taking time out for being on here, because I know you're a busy man. More than busy.
But sometimes busy can be a good thing.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's busy and there's productive. So you are productive. So I cannot thank you enough for being on here. Like I said, when DJ Silent, he was like, you gotta look this brother up. And I was like, okay. So when I looked you up, I was like, okay. And I kept digging. I was like, okay. And then I started trolling you. I was like, okay.
That's why I felt that feeling. Oh, okay.
Did you feel it go up your spine a little bit?
They say you're only scared to die if you ain't living right. So
now.
So thankfully,
you living right. And see, there's my big brother.
Shout out to Silent Professor.
Absolutely. So like I said, I had to have you on here. So again, I cannot thank you enough. So over the past 25 years, you worked in Baltimore City in the public school system. Now, what led you into the field that you are currently in?
It was actually, I guess you could say it was divine, because at the time I was unemployed, and one of my close friends, she worked at the central office at the time, and they were doing volunteer work. They were trying to do data entry for their first student information system. So anyone who wanted to do the volunteer work, it was paid, but it wasn't a guaranteed job. But anyone who wanted to come in, you would come in, and they literally had stacks of paper like this tall on a bunch of picnic tables. And your job was to grab a stack and enter in all those papers into this database. And I started around November of 95. It lasted till about January of 96. They handed you a check and were like, thank you very much. So I was like looking for the next job, and I got a call back. Come to find out that I did close to 74% of the paperwork in the room with like a 98.8 something percent accuracy.
Mhm.
And they were fascinated by that and offered me a job. And it started there. I continued to do more data entry. It went from data entry to data analysis. I started doing programming, moved over to field tech. And then it led to me actually going into the schools and learning about special ed for a couple of years. And then from there, um, I came back and I started teaching the student information system. And that was the bulk of my tenure with the school system. For about 10, 15 of those 25 years, I was training the student information systems throughout the district. Um, and now I work in the call center, but I've been in IT the entire time that I've been there. And it's been an experience, but I've learned a lot. Um, I gained a lot of knowledge on a lot of things, and it kind of helps when you're talking to the parents to have that background knowledge of how things work in the school and how the processes go. It just allows you to be a better help when you're talking to them on the phone. So yeah, but been in IT the whole time.
Now I want to back up just a little bit. Now, when you worked in the special ed children, I mean that takes a big heart to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How long did you do that?
I did that for about 2.5 years. I was
Mm-hmm.
a special ed assistant. So when they went in to service the students, I was pretty much going in with them and documenting the services that were being provided, helping with any of the classes or sessions that they were having, because some of them were one-on-one, some of them were group sessions. So depending on what it was, um, I would assist the at the time they were called ARD managers.
Mm-hmm.
I would assist them in providing the services to the students, but I had to take classes. You have to take classes on, there are specific ways that you have to interact with the children. You have to learn how to restrain properly, depending on what disability a child may have. So there were a lot of things that I had to learn on the back end in order to just be their assistant and document the services that were being provided.
Yeah, my mom did that for a little while, so I understand about that aspect. And like I say, it takes a huge heart to do that. So I commend you on working with the children from then and currently now. So I absolutely commend you. Now, from that to being a DJ, now you worked in the education system for 25 years and being a DJ for 22 years.
Right.
First, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Like, you don't even look old enough to even be doing either one of these jobs for 22
Well, thank you.
or
I'll,
25
I'll
years.
take that as a compliment.
I
Thank you very
mean,
much.
as far as I know, the beard could be dyed and bleached. As far as I know, because people do that nowadays. I'm just saying. Because look at my hair. I mean, I'm just saying these could be false things, false witnesses. I'm just saying. So kudos to the youthful appearance of being in things for 25 plus years.
Thank you.
So how long? So what got you started into DJing? Hey
My
Jennifer.
my brother was a DJ. My brother is a DJ.
Okay.
DJ Prophet, and he is 7 years my senior. So big brother, looking up to him, and he would take me on a lot of his events. I love to dance and I like to party, so he would kind of, unbeknownst to me in hindsight, I should have got paid, but it's okay. But he would take me to the parties and I would go out on the dance floor and dance
Mm-hmm.
and kind of get people out on the floor and get the party started.
Mm-hmm.
But then I wanted to learn how to do it myself. We come from the age of recording on boom boxes, and
Absolutely.
that gets a tad bit tedious after a while. If you miss the first 3 seconds of the song, you got to wait till tomorrow night. So I just wanted to be able to record the music that I wanted to hear and things of that nature. And it kind of stemmed from that. Then he noticed that there was a talent that was there, and he nurtured it. And so it went from wanting to just have my own music to covering for him when he went to the restroom, to he wanted to take a break during a party, to playing half of the party, to doing my own parties and then going from there. So
Mhm.
it literally started with which watching my brother and wanted to do what my big brother did.
Okay. Now, when you said you used to be a good dancer, define good dancer.
Oh, I used to shut the party down. It wasn't just in my head. I can actually cut a rug. Uh, a lot of DJs. It was funny because a lot of DJs that are my colleagues now knew
Mhm.
me from coming to their events,
Okay.
and dancing at their events. Tons was one of the guys. He would give me a ticket to go to his parties over at the Steelworkers Union Hall,
Mhm.
and knowing that if I was coming, that it would get the party started because he knew I loved to dance. And then it was funny. One day I was doing a happy hour, and he came in behind me, and he looked twice, like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be out on the dance floor. You're not supposed to be back here in the booth.
Right.
So yeah, I was known back in the day for
Being a hype
ha-
man.
handling my business on the dance floor. Yes, yes.
Okay. So I was gonna say because I was that dancer back in the day. So I
Our
don't
paths
know.
probably crossed.
No,
I look.
I doubt it because I'm an indie, so I doubt it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I doubt it. But I'm just saying, I was that I was not that cute girl dancer back in the day. I was challenging dudes, but I was like, no, no. So
that sounds about right. Yeah, we probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I look
So
totally
if I
different then.
so yeah,
There was no facial hair back then, so
I
probably. You
yeah,
never know.
I had the the salt and pepper, like this side was short, this side was long, had the ducktail on one side.
Ah, the memories.
The bamboo earrings. At
Right. At least two pair. Nah.
least two pair. Oh my god, good times.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Oh
indeed.
my god. So who were your influences back then?
Um.
Musical influences back, DJ influences.
So I always watched the DJs who So the biggest DJ that I watched like avidly was DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
Um, it was just to watch him work and what he did. It literally stopped time for anybody that was in the room. You didn't even really even care about dancing. You were just fascinated with the stuff that he would do. And there were other DJs as well. DJ Scratch, the DJ Richie Rich for third base, and actually the DJ for Kwame. He was a awesome DJ as well. People just didn't know. You wouldn't know unless you went to a concert and saw him live. Um, but so it was kind of like I watched some of the big ones, but it was more or less the ones who were passionate about what they did. They kind of just they stood out
Mm-hmm.
in what they did. So I followed them a lot. And so those were the main ones back then and then there were local DJs that I would always go to their events. Tons, Booby, Frank Ski was still here. He was doing parties at UMBC. Um, and so there were local DJs that I watched, DJ Titan, Kenny K. There were local DJs that I would watch too, because those were the ones that I could actually go to their event and watch them up close.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the main ones, and they kind of set the precedent, And my brother always told me, he was like, "Don't just learn from me, because I just have one style. The more DJs you expose yourself to, and the different styles, it'll help you figure out where you want to go on your musical journey as a DJ and how you want to identify yourself." So yeah, those are the main ones.
Yeah, that's funny because I did go to Kwame's concert and his DJ was a beast. And
Mm-hmm.
to this day, I still listen to DJ Will Smith's first album
Mm-hmm.
because of um oh god, now I can't think of the song. That is the devil.
Oh,
Oh,
I know which one you're talking about too. Because he just let him go on that. Oh, what is it?
oh God.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
But yeah, but you know which one I'm talking about. I
I know
listened to
exactly which
that
one
one,
you're talking about, and I was
and
just talking about it the other day.
I listened to it like that's like my get hype song. Like if I'm driving down the street and I just need to feel good, that's my get hype song. That one, and there's the Donkey Kong song I listen to at night because for some reason that song at night just sounds so dope. If you're driving down the street, it just does. But whatever, that's just my preference. Y'all can talk about me, judge me. I don't care. It's just a good driving at night song. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah. So good choices.
Thank you.
Um, no, you're welcome. So so do you feel like gospel DJs get a bad rap sometimes? Like like they get judged for being quote unquote boring.
So it depends on who's listening.
Mm-hmm.
In the DJ world, it's kind of, you get the side eye,
Mm-hmm.
or they look at you differently, only because of how they view gospel. A lot of DJs aren't necessarily um, knowledgeable in gospel music, whether it's secular or traditional. I mean, there's so many angles that or directions you can go within the gospel genre, but a lot of DJs aren't familiar with it because who's playing, you know, Hezekiah Walker in the club? So so they don't necessarily have to study up on it a lot. And those
Facts.
aren't the gigs that they're taking. So when they come across a gospel DJ, it's like, oh, you DJ gospel, so you tend to get that. But
Right.
but for the people who appreciate gospel music, there's really no difference. And,
Right.
and and at the end of the day, the reality is a lot of DJs that focus on a specific genre, not just gospel, you kind of have to give them their just due, because you really have to study it out. You have to be knowledgeable, and especially with gospel music. I mean, like there's a message that needs to be given.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just playing something that has a catchy beat or something that's familiar. You're literally spreading a word musically,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a responsibility that not every DJ can carry.
Amen.
So I find that when there are DJs that stick to a specific genre, you kind of have to give them their respect, because they're going to be able to go places that you can't. But then specifically for gospel music, because there's the responsibility of educating, um, uplifting, encouraging, edifying someone spiritually, it's more than just being a DJ. And so my hat goes off to gospel DJs, because I kind of know, what it entails, and it's not just going from the record on the left to the record on the right. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a weight you have to carry with that, because what you don't want to do
But you don't want to do.
is misrepresent the gospel.
Right.
And
Make do the wrong kind of crossover, if you will.
exactly, yeah. So you
And
know
I've heard that a few times.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and even when I do my mix, I tell people there are certain instrumentals that you're just not going to hear, because
Right.
you're kind of going to lose the point. You're going to be too focused on, did he just,
Yeah.
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 So yeah. I have a very deep respect for gospel DJs, especially when they start doing more of the secular and they're getting into the gospel, hip hop and things of that nature. Because quite honestly, all of it isn't necessarily in the best advantage to be played. No disrespect to any artist, but you have to be selective when you're focused on his word and making sure that his light shines musically. You
Mm-hmm.
you have to you your decisions have to be based off of that principle and that focus.
Right. Facts.
So,
Hey, Marcia, thanks for joining us. Good evening. Um, and Miss Helen, thank you for joining us. But those are facts because sometimes it's like, bruh, uh, that I don't think that was in line with. Then you just be like, you know what? Let me just turn him off and
yeah,
then find somebody else to listen to.
yeah.
Matter of fact, let me just watch TV.
And that's what I'm saying. See, somebody who thinks that they can just come in and
Hmm.
play gospel, they won't know the significance of what they did. So
Yeah,
you have to do your research.
yeah,
You have to be Berean in all things, and that's one of them. Because
yeah,
just because it says gospel music doesn't necessarily mean that you can just play it simply because that's the label. You got to check it out and listen to it, make sure it's
right.
going in the same lines of what it is that you want to convey to your audience. And that's, I mean, that applies in most things, but I just hold gospel when it comes to gospel music. I hold it
Mm,
in a separate category because there's a responsibility there that doesn't necessarily tie into other genres. Other
right,
genres is just about having a nice party or what the hot beat is.
right.
Um,
Having a catchy hook.
exactly,
Right.
and you can't just that. It's not the same. There is a message that you have to be careful with,
Hmm.
because it's not just about you and what you're playing. You're now a representative, and you're going to have to render an account for it. Like,
Hmm.
it's just that simple. So
Right.
you might want to listen to it before you play it, and make sure that it's in line with the overall message that you want to convey.
Right. Because as a DJ, it's you're putting your name out there playing that particular music.
Mhm. Indeed.
So you just can't be like, all right, I'll play just because somebody slid you a dollar bill or two and like, can you play this song for me?
Right.
Because I know that happens in the industry. I know it
Oh yeah,
does. I
all
know
the
it
time.
does. Yeah.
And as a Christian, you have
Hmm.
to be careful on both sides,
Yeah.
because I do a praise mix on Sunday, but I DJ throughout the week. So even
Hmm.
though it's not specifically labeled gospel music, I'm still a representative,
Hmm.
because if I go from playing, and I'm just throwing, if I go play Go Tell It on the Mountain on Sunday, and
Hmm.
then I'm playing for the 99 and 2000s on Monday, like,
Right.
what is someone going, it's a responsibility as a
Hmm.
Christian that you have to carry in everything.
Right.
Not just specifically that, but you have to be a representative throughout the week, not just on Sunday.
Right.
um
Right.
and so making sure that having clean edits, selecting which songs I will and won't play, um
Right.
which is why I tend not to play a lot, if any, of the current music, because it's just a slippery slope, um
Because
with
that's
with
what discernment kicks in.
right. and
Yeah.
and and I made that decision, about when I made Jesus Lord of my life. I made the decision to leave the clubs,
Hmm.
and just stay away from that type of music, because it's not reflective of my walk. And
Hmm.
at first you get hesitant, because it's like, oh, but that's how you made your money. How what you going to do now? But then that's why it's called the leap of faith. And
Right.
I do more events now since I made the decision to put him first than I've ever done in my career. So I mean, truly, Matthew 6:33 is not just one scripture to read. Actually, it's a
Hmm.
mantra for me, and I try to my best to live it out in all things, including my DJing. So.
Amen. Amen. I will never forget when I was clubbing hard in my in my worldly sinning ways. Me and my buddy, and we grew up in a church, and we was killing it on the dance floor. And all of a sudden, they blended in stomp. We both
Mm.
looked, and we both ran off the dance floor. We said, "Oh no!" I
Oh
was
man,
like, "No, no, 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 no!" And I was like, "Everybody in here is going to hell." I was
man.
like, "I cannot believe," and the majority, and I would say 95% of people stayed on the dance floor and
Hmm.
kept on sweating. I'm
Hmm.
like, this ain't real. this cannot be happening. And the DJ was like, "Come on, y'all,
Right.
stomp." I'm like, "No, we're not gonna stomp.
The, the song that
We
changed
are
the
not."
world, where, where you play it in the saved and sanctified with exit stage left. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Look," because we was church kids, and
Yes.
we knew better, but
Hmm.
we wasn't acting better. But it was like, absolutely not. I'm not going.
And the irony is, like, Kirk Franklin wasn't the first to do it, and people
Absolutely not.
and people are realizing it now watching the Ray Charles movie. But
Good evening.
in music, it's been happening all along,
Right.
and so it was just interesting that that one song, like that summer, will
Oh,
never be the same. Like the first
absolutely
time
not.
people heard it, and then when they heard what he was talking about, they were like, "Oh man, this dude,
And it didn't help that Salt was rapping.
right?"
So
Just
it just blew up.
just
I
add
mean,
gas, just add gasoline to the already
and if you
existing fire.
listen to her, I mean, she was ministering, but it didn't
Mm,
matter.
not at all.
It
Not at
it, it just would turn into a club banger overnight.
all. Hmm.
And I was like, I will not take part of this. And but what made it so bad, I'm telling all my business, even though we sat down, was like, we ain't gonna take no part of this. We kept drinking our drink.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Like these
Everybody went
people are
to the
going to
bar.
hell.
Everybody went to the bar. You say that as you go to the bar. Y'all
Y'all
gonna
going
burn.
to hell.
Can I get a Long Island? And
Right. And make it extra strong because
right.
this I cannot handle this. Make it two.
Oh man.
Wait a minute, I needed to get drunk that night. 'Cause like, wait a minute, make it even worse. Go to church the next day.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
again, that was just, I mean, but I'll repeat, because we would see people who knew what church we was going to, and we would tell them, look, we go to church. We're not in church.
Mm.
There is a difference.
Yeah, it
So
is.
do not put a label on us.
Yeah, it
So just
is.
because you see us in here acting the clown, don't do that. Now I've turned my life around, so things are different. But back then,
Yeah. Yeah,
the
buddy.
girl was living the life, living the vida loca. Oh, I
Mm-mm.
digress. Back to you.
Oh,
Okay. So you're part of a youth program too, right?
yes.
Okay, can
Yes.
you tell us about that?
So I am the music director for Aziza Peace Youth Programming.
Mm-hmm.
The founder, Saron Fawcett, she has been uh, utilizing this program for well over a decade. And she deals with primarily young ladies from 14 to 24. She deals with younger than that, and she also deals with some men, but primarily young men, but primarily young girls between the ages of 14 and 24. And she uses the arts, fashion, music, things of those natures to teach life skills to those young ladies, and just helping them to not fall prey to the set of circumstances that they've been put into,
Mm-hmm.
the environment that they're in, the people that are around them, for them to develop self-love, self-respect, and basically to grow into productive members of society, knowing that where they come from doesn't necessarily dictate where they're going to go or where they can't go. And so it's an amazing program. We just finished having our fashion fundraiser this past Saturday. Every year they do an annual fashion show fundraiser, and the young ladies and men that are in the program, they're actually the models. And so they start rehearsals in August of the year prior. And so you literally get to watch them go from uh, caterpillars into blossoming butterflies before your eyes. And I mean,
Wonderful.
these young ladies, and I mean, they're having adult issues and adult situations at 14, 15.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
like you sit in on a session or you have a class with them and you just sit down and listen to their stories. And
Mhm.
as an adult, you're trying to figure out
Excuse
how
me.
you would get through it.
Mhm.
And as an adult, you have certain mental faculties, you have certain resources that aren't available to children.
Mhm.
And so, they're going through like real life adult situations at this age, and you're trying to you're like, what is going on? And so when you hear these stories, you're just moved to support, engage, and invest time and energy because somebody did that for us. And in our generation, we had a village that raised a child. That isn't necessarily a concept that has stayed intact, over the years. And so there are organizations that say that they help the kids, but it's more or less they say that on a spreadsheet. This
Right.
program is like at ground zero, involved with both the kids, their parents, providing resources for both. Because sometimes you have parents, they had their child at a young age, and so they're still learning things as well. They were trying to grow up and raise a child at the same time, and unfortunately that creates uh, certain environments. It has the propensity to create certain mental, emotional, and physical scars, through that journey. So you're not just helping the kids, you're helping the parents. The parents need assistance, help, and support because they're not sure of what their resources are. So it's just an amazing program. And Saran and I have been best friends for well over 20 plus years. Um, and she actually started this program in the modeling agency that I went to. She did the
Wow.
same. It was the same premise. It was just a different name. So she took what she developed and nurtured from having her own modeling agency and instilled that into Aziza Peace. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, it's a wonderful program. I'm the music director, and I actually teach classes that focus on music and its effects on behavior. Because if you want to get a message to somebody, the two quickest ways to do it is through their eyes and through their ears, and so they call it programming for a reason. So when you're listening to the radio, specifically urban radio, there's a message that's being sent through a lot of the music, and if you're not aware of what that message is, it doesn't stop the message from resonating in your subconscious mind. And those who are unaware of that process have been, are slowly but surely affected by a lot of the things that they watch and that they listen to. I take small pride in being able to open their eyes to how powerful music really is, because it truly is. And that's my role, as well as producing the music for like the fashion shows and things of that nature. But I'm also a father. So, and I have a daughter.
Mhm.
So I know what that role looks like. And I know for a lot of these young ladies, that role is absent. So a lot of times just being there and being supportive, just being in the space is something that a lot of them just need, and they're grateful to have. So it's multifaceted, but I have enjoyed every single minute of being affiliated with the organization. And I encourage anyone who knows of a young lady or even young men that are looking for a program or just a home. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
To reach out. They have pages on both Facebook and Instagram, Aziza Peace Youth Programming, or they can reach out to Saran Fawcett, and get more information on the program. But it's a wonderful program, and anyone who wants to support it, if there are any adults that want to support it as well, I encourage them to look up the information and reach out.
And they can find that where again?
So on Facebook, it's Aziza Peace Youth Programming. On
Mhm.
Instagram, it's I am Aziza Peace. Um, and I'll get you the information, her contact information, and things of that nature. So if anyone is interested, they can reach out to her directly.
Okay, awesome. And someone asked and wanted to know where you were from. It was actually Mr. Gills. He wanted to know where you were from.
Oh, I'm from Baltimore. You just wouldn't know it because my mom was an English teacher. So she
She made
wasn't
you
having
speak the King's English.
Yes, she was not having it. So I only said Doug when I was outside. It was dog when I went in the house.
Yeah, you was trying to say dog.
Yeah, so Doug and orange, Aaron,
Mhm.
Earn, and Earn. Yeah, all the one syllable words that should be four syllables. Baltimore. All that good stuff. Yeah, that happened outside the house. When you went in the house, you
That's
better act
funny.
like you know. Don't. A couple of times she caught me. Yeah, nah. We we gonna speak the
Well,
King's English
ain't that it?
when we're in public. But
And
it's got
how's
me a couple of jobs. So hey, it's a beautiful thing.
ain't that it? I
You
tell
walked
people all
into
the
the
time,
interview and they were
my
like,
my name got me in a whole lot of office positions.
"Yes,
Lillian,
indeed."
well, my maiden name was Lillian Mickle, so it was Irish.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah. You got to that second interview quick.
and then when I answered the phone, it was very proper, if you will.
Mhm, yeah,
I know how to turn it on.
yep.
So, but then when I walked in the door, it was, oh,
The the quick
okay.
the quick double take and composure.
Did y'all
Oh
get my drift? Dang
yeah, oh yeah. Oh, they got us again. Oh man,
it.
man. Y'all gotta read these.
You're
Y'all gotta do more research on these applications when y'all get these things. Come on, yo.
okay, y'all not asking the right questions.
This is the third time. Y'all gotta get on this. Come on now, people.
She looks so good on paper.
Right.
She sounded so good on the phone though.
But
Well, she
Miss
is.
Mr. Johnson, when I talked to her on the phone,
I could have sworn.
ah, oh man.
Oh my god, I used to die laughing when I would get in the car, be like, "Gotcha."
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Oh my god, but
Yeah.
this I think this is my word for 2021. I digress.
But yeah, to answer their question, born and raised Baltimore, Maryland.
Born and raised. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But the mother taught
Yes,
you the King English because
indeed she did.
okay. Which is good because that taught you how to be an author. See, look at that segue, Jesus.
Won't he do it?
Won't he
Won't he
will?
do it?
She'd be mad at that. Won't he do it? Won't he will?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she'd be all kind of mad at that.
I'm ducking now.
Mhm.
Ooh, just nervous reaction.
See, because my mother was a teacher too, and a Sunday school teacher.
Hmm. Ooh,
So
ooh,
yeah,
ouch. Ooh, ouch.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
ouch. Ooh.
It was demanded.
Huh?
Know the English and the word.
Right. Man.
And wait a minute, here's even worse. And Daddy was over in the he was a deacon over in the finance committee.
Good. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Man, I'm glad you're still here.
boy,
Man,
know
you've
that
had a
money.
you've had a walk. Your
So
journey. Let's talk about you for a minute. We
why
can come
you
back
think I
to
was in the
me.
club? 1 minute, that's why I was in the club.
Man,
I was trying to make up for lost time.
we'll get back to me later. Let's
Here you
whoa.
go. I
You
here you go.
got
I digress.
right. You got a lot to talk about, man.
This is why I'm writing a book as well.
Hey, I will purchase it the moment you put it out there. I'm telling you that much.
Baby.
I want to hear that story. Man.
That's why the title that's why my name is called Worldly Church Girl, because the book is called Worldly Church Girl because the story. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's talk about your book. The title of your book called Morning Thoughts. How did that come about?
um ooh, how do I high end that one? So my my mom passed away in 2016, and a month later, her mom passed away. They both passed
Wow.
away from brain and pancreatic cancer.
Mm.
Um, and there's history before that, but just to high end it, and then a couple of months later, my other grandmother fell down a flight of steps, and she never recovered.
Mm.
So here were three anchors to my life because I had never been without any of them, and now they were gone, and that sent me on a journey that I had never been on before. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't understand the gravity and the depth of the loss that I had experienced. And so for the next couple of years, I'm thinking that, um, you get up in the morning and you get through the day. That's what you do. You figure out how to get through the day and deal with the loss. But I didn't understand. I didn't have full knowledge of the amount of trauma that I experienced and was going through each day and wasn't addressing. And so it was kind of like just growing. And so I ended up, someone suggested going to therapy. And I ended up getting a therapist. And it was there that I learned all of those things. And I learned how my brain was taking the information, how I was dealing with it, how I was processing it. And a lot of the things that I thought I was doing to help me, the way that my mental makeup is, it wasn't working because I process things differently. And so one of the things that I've always done throughout my life when I was dealing with things is write things out. I learned at a young age that writing things out was a good venting mechanism and a way to kind of get things off your chest when you can't really talk to anyone. Writing always helps you get that information out and you feel a little bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done it sporadically um, throughout my life, but something said, just start writing. If I felt a certain way in the morning, I would write it down and I would post it, and I would share it, basically with the thought that hoping someone would read it and know that they're not alone, that they're not the only one dealing with this struggle, that they're not the only one fighting these demons, that they're not the only ones that are mad over the things that are taking place in their life. And so morning thoughts is literally a compilation of those thoughts that I've had while dealing on my personal grief journey, and dealing with loss, not only of close family and friends, but especially with the pandemic and everything, loss of employment, um, loss of friends and family that are still living. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from people because even though you love them, being in their direct space isn't necessarily a healthy option for you. And learning, being able to make that decision and knowing that sometimes you have to love people from a distance, but it's still loss. And sometimes it can be worse because the person is still around. Um, so just dealing with those different things and the emotional highs and lows of that journey and just being fully transparent. Anyone who reads my book is going to learn a lot about me, because I don't pull any punches. I don't bite my tongue. How I'm feeling is how I'm feeling. So if that day I'm mad at God and I asking him why, like blaming him for something that's going on, then if that was how I felt, that's what I wrote about. But it's also at the discussion. So even though I'm having an emotional response at the beginning, um, always bringing it back to the spirit and being able to be rational and reasonable, and allowing common sense and deductive reasoning to put you back on track and kind of get you back to the perspective you need so that if he wakes you up the next day you can keep going. And so that's pretty much what the book is about. It's my daily or morning thoughts, just dealing with the things that I've been going through. And the three losses that I just discussed are only the tip of the iceberg. Um, so that's primarily what the book is about, but it's with the intent that people just don't feel alone. There are a lot of people out here that feel as though they're the only ones that deal with certain things, and that isolation, um, There are powers that be that will manipulate that
Mhm.
isolation and keep you from seeing the blessings that are right in front of you. So hopefully someone can read this and realize that they're not alone, and hopefully reach out and extend their hand for the help. Reach out and get the resources. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to seek therapy, or going to seek professional help. That's what they went to school for.
Right.
And they went to school for years to learn how our brain, how our feelings, how our bodies work, and in conjunction with the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. So they just know more about how we function than we do. And like I said, I thought I was doing what I needed to do, only to find out that I was completely wrong in what I was
Mhm.
doing. I was doing more harm than good. And I'm like, why is it 2 years later and I'm more mad now than I was when it actually happened? So just those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with seeking professional help. And hopefully if someone reads and saw that I did it, maybe that's the encouragement they need to look into that option themselves. I just want to serve. I never thought I would be an author, so please understand that this isn't something that I had aspired to do, but I was called to do it, and I'm not running anymore. Whatever His will is for me, however He wants me to do it, when He moves, I move, just like that.
Just like that. Amen. I love the two things that you said. I love that most Christians, church folks, run from. One, that we always have a problem with, not always, but some have a problem with, is asking God questions.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with asking the Lord a question. Questioning God is one thing, but you can ask the Lord a question, but there you're not supposed to questioning
Right.
him, but you can ask him a question. There's nothing wrong with that
Hmm.
because there is a difference. The second one is getting professional help. There's nothing wrong with getting professional help
Yeah.
as a Christian. That's what they're for. That's why
Right.
God gave them, created them to go get that help. I mean, that profession, to get that education.
Hmm.
They put them there. He got them here for us to get that help. No,
Hmm.
no different. You going to the doctor, you get help from a doctor for your physical body. Why not go to a doctor to get help for your mental status?
Exactly.
There's no different.
Right.
So go
and
get
there
some
and
help.
there are spiritually, so my therapist has a
Hmm.
spiritual foundation. So
Hmm.
not only was she able to help me understand the mental, but then she could connect it to the spiritual journey.
Hmm.
So so you can find one or the other, but there are options where you can find both, where you're healing both at the same time. You just have to start looking. You know,
Right.
when you pray, let your will be done, like you have to be open to what that entails. And it's not what necessarily going to come in the package that you think it's supposed to come in.
Hmm.
And so that's where faith comes in, because I never thought that I'd be sitting in a young lady's office talking about my childhood,
Right.
as a man.
Right. Right.
you
Sharing
know
all my business,
right to
my deepest, darkest secrets.
right.
Right.
And but I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you had that not taken place. And
Hmm.
so even though it didn't necessarily come the way that I thought it would, God's plan is perfect. But it's
Right.
not for me to discern the details of the perfection. It's my job to be faithful when He tells me to do something.
Right.
So
I want to shout out to everybody that's tuning in and watching. I know I haven't been shouting all y'all out, and because he's got me all engulfed, if that's a word, in his conversation.
are you blaming me? Are you?
I am blaming you because you said you was gonna be boring, and you are not.
I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you.
So I want to shout all y'all for chiming in and commenting. I love all y'all, and y'all can catch him on his Twitter feed. What's your Twitter feed? I
I'm
mean,
on.
Twitter, not
I'm
Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitch.
I'm
See
on.
what I mean? Got it all jacked up. Your
I'm
Twitch.
on Twitch. It's DJ Droopy 0037.
Okay. and I'm on Twitch something. It's World Church
Okay.
Girl. There it is. See
You
what I
sure?
guess?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I don't know. I might have had Long Island before. I'm just
Oh boy. No
kidding.
pre-gaming before
No,
the
no,
show.
now, okay.
What you not gonna do?
Now on today.
Oh man.
But it may not be water in that bottle. Remember they used to do
I'm over here. I'm just gonna stay over here. That's what I'm
stay in
doing.
your lane. Stay in your lane.
Exactly. It's safer that way. Less accidents.
Okay. Oh Lord Jesus, we be all right. See, Twitch got you. I mean, I see. Oh God,
That's-
you know what?
mm, mm, mm,
In
mm.
my defense, because I should have on my glasses, but that's neither here nor there.
What's wrong with glasses?
Nothing.
I was about to say, hey, watch it now. Watch it now.
Not
Watch it
nothing.
now.
You look
Mhm.
you look very nice in your glasses, but you know I just ain't got mine on because I just wear them at night when I'm driving. That's it.
Oh,
I'm
well,
one- I'm I'm
thank you
one of
for
them.
that. No, 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 no. Thank you for that. I thank you.
You welcome.
So let me not take anything away from that. Thank you.
See, the professor got us both. See, he got us both.
Yes,
He
yes.
was there all the time.
Oh man.
Okay, you know what? I see in my trolling, you got a love for sports cars too, sir.
For what?
Sports cars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you could pick 3 sports cars and you can have them right
Ooh,
now,
ooh.
no
Wow.
strings attached.
Mm, don't tempt me. So it would be the Audi A8,
Ooh, yep.
the Porsche Panamera,
Okay.
because something I don't know. I just want to have a 4-door Porsche because I'm
Mm-hmm.
such a dad.
Because you just want to get the babies in there,
Yeah,
but
and
still be fancy.
right, right. You know, the best of both worlds. And the third, I would definitely have to get a Ferrari.
Really?
Yes.
What color for all 3?
The Audi A8 would be white.
Yes.
The Porsche would be silver,
Okay, that's a
and
safe family color.
the Ferrari would be black.
I'm so glad you didn't say red.
Oh, nah, none of them would. No, no, we don't do red. Nah.
Yeah, because your insurance would be very dumb.
Well, it's going to be high for the black too. So, but yeah,
Would it?
yeah, it will. Trust me, I've I've looked it.
You already did your research.
I already did my research.
You planning for the future.
So actually, white, black, and red for sports cars and SUVs, they will tack up your car insurance for those 3 colors.
For white?
Yes,
Because I already planned my Audi was gonna be white.
I'm trying to tell you, white, red, and black. Those are the top 3
Oh Lord,
colors.
that's gonna be white
When
anyway.
it comes to sports cars and SUVs, those 3 colors they can hit you if they want. And
what if you got a good clean driving record? They still tack you?
So they still tack you. It just won't be as much, but they're going to get you on the color. And I want pearl white, so I already know they're going to get me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a conspiracy. The devil is
it
a
is.
lie.
It's business. It's all about the money. They're going to do what they can.
I rebuke it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to use my my professional voice when I call them.
Yep. You gotta call them before you show up.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I do it over the phone. I get it. I'll get the low price.
Right.
I'll call the general and get it taken care of.
Then you send them your driver's license. They be like, "Oh man,
you got us again.
So
dead."
Julie, you gotta get better at this.
She did it again, Julie. Dang it. Okay, so how can they find you? I know The professor got some of our stuff up, but how can they find you?
So on Facebook, it's Christopher DJ Droopy Wills. On
Hmm.
Instagram, it's DJ Droopy 037. And as Silent Professor already put up on Twitch, it is DJ Droopy 0037. Um,
And the book can be found where?
the book can be found on Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles. If you want a signed copy of it, you can email me at morningthoughts037 at yahoo.com, and give me your information. I will sign the book and send it to you.
Hey man, we fancy. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, people ask, I work it out.
That's what I'm
So
talking about. Hey
yeah,
man. All right, so you ready for your last question, sir?
I don't know. You've been pre-gaming. I don't know what this. I don't
That's
know what this
right.
last.
This is the setup.
I'm not sure what this because you've been holding it. You've been waiting
I have.
for it.
I've been waiting.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right. So if you could have any actor portray you in a movie, in your lifetime movie, who would it be
Will
and
Smith.
why?
Will Smith, because we act just alike. It really wouldn't be a hard stretch for him to
Really?
do. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That
And
was
he's
too.
he's multifaceted. Yeah, I know. I've thought about this. I'm a movie connoisseur, so I've already thought about a question like that. So yeah, Will Smith.
Wow. That was too simple for you. I'm
It's
darn
what
near mad that you thought of it that quick.
it's what I do. I'm just-
Oh, well,
yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna
I got,
I'm gonna be petty. I'm gonna ask you one more question
okay,
then.
go for it. Bonus.
Okay. Bonus question. All right. So if you could have any song be your theme song when you walked into a room, what would it be and why?
Goodness, goodness gracious. Now that's a good one. The theme to the greatest American hero. Yeah, let's go with that. Because I just like being different. And as soon as you hear it come up, what in the world is,
I'm
huh?
really trying to get myself together.
But then there's going to be people who remember it and be
I
like,
do. I do
man,
remember that song. That's
man,
why I'm.
see?
I'm really. You know how you feel the cry, the laugh, cry coming. Oh Lord,
Yep.
because I had a friend of mine I interviewed said the San Francisco one, and I thought that was the
Mm,
best one. You ranking right there with them because
yeah. Nah, crazy.
wow.
Because by the time it gets to the chorus, everybody's singing it. All you got to
You
do is,
know, because I'm darn near want to sing it right now. It's gonna be stuck in my head, Lord. Oh, that's a
you're,
good one.
you're welcome. Glad I could help you out with that one. Yeah.
That was a good one. I'm so mad. Oh Jesus. Oh, he said not the petty bonus question. It was petty, but he answered that one way too fast, and I didn't like it. So,
My bad. I
um,
should have did the traditional pause.
you should have been like, "Oh," because I'm used to the "oh." That's a good one, but I got it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, but well, I just want to send you off with the song. I just want to sing that song while you walk off the stage. Oh,
Oh.
but I didn't warm my vocals up for just to give you the "Believe It or Not" song because you're
Mm.
walking on air.
Exactly. I never thought I would feel so free.
No,
Flying away on a
on
wing and a
wings of
prayer.
prayer.
Who
Who
could it
could it
be?
be?
Believe it
Believe
or
it or
not,
not, it's
it's
just
just
me.
me.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
That was a good one. Oh, okay, so I can't thank you enough for being on here with your boring self.
I apologized in advance. I tried to look.
Oh man, you did. You warned me that you was gonna be boring and that this was gonna be a full hour.
I told you. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I will let you go. Thank you again,
Yes,
and
my
we
pleasure.
will stay in touch
Most definitely.
because I know there's many books coming your way.
Yeah. And I need
And
to get a copy to you. So
yes,
please make sure you give me. I'm
a-
I'm getting a
absolutely,
copy to you.
absolutely. So stay tuned. Hold on backstage. Don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Ooh, I don't know. Was that a Baltimore accent that came
Yes,
out?
yes, it was.
Ew.
That was that was that was kind of Park Heistage. Well, that was West Side.
Ew.
Yeah, that was West Side. Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, that is so contagious.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, I can't hang around with y'all. No.
Ooh, ooh, oh, it got dark in here all of a sudden.
The
Somebody turn on the
shade.
light.
The shade.
Someone turn on the light. It got dark. Anyone got a flashlight? Like, ooh, man.
The shade of it all. Hold on. I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh man, I want to thank y'all so much for joining us. This have been an awesome show. As always, I want to thank my guests. You have been the bomb.com, and I want to thank all of you for joining me. And I have a special announcement. Awesome Guy Radio has been nominated for the first round for a Stella Award. So please, 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 I'm going to post on all my pages, my Facebook, my Instagram. I'm gonna my what's that one? My Twitter. I'm gonna post on all of them to please vote for us. We are going to win if you vote. So vote, 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 vote. We need your vote. So I cannot thank y'all enough for all that y'all have done. And as always, thanks for joining your one and only Worldly Church Girl.